The 90s were a golden era for summer blockbusters. Movies like Speed, The Matrix, The Rock, Armageddon, Independence Day, and Twister blew up the box office and entertained audiences all over the world. These were spectacle movies, full of cutting-edge special effects, outrageous stunts, and high-octane action. Nobody went into these movies expecting a deep existential experience. The only agenda was to simply entertain. Movies were actually fun then. Why is that such a hard concept to grasp nowadays? Well, luckily the makers of Twisters took an old-school approach here, because this movie feels like a blast from the past. As for the plot, who cares? All you need to know is that there are two tornado-chasing teams chasing tornadoes in Oklahoma. One group seems to be doing it for the right reason, science. The other group seems to be doing it for the wrong reason, fame. The group doing it for the right reason want to gain a fundamental understanding of tornadoes, and thereby lessen their devastation to small towns by shooting diapers up into them. The group doing it for fame is led by a hillbilly with a YouTube channel. My girlfriend nudged me when this bit of dialogue popped off. There's a subplot involving a land developer who's financing one of the teams. I assume that there was more to this angle. However, it was eschewed for the sake of pacing because nothing really comes of it, and it just is kind of confusing. But I'm reading into this movie way too deep. Twisters is a tornado movie, and the makers of Twisters would have you believe that huge, hellacious, insanely destructive tornadoes are wreaking havoc in the state of Oklahoma on a daily basis. And in some instances, more than one. Not just one per day, but more than one at the same freaking time. I know that Oklahoma is part of the tornado belt, but based on the frequency and the devastation that the tornadoes in this movie leave in their wake, by the end of it, I was wondering, like, how is there even still an Oklahoma to begin with? It's like after a couple of days of these things, the entire state would be wiped off the map. The special effects didn't blow me away. Based on my memory of the first film, those effects were maybe not better, but they certainly felt bigger and more elaborate. Still, there are some really cool sequences with the Twisters. The opening sequence is a quick reminder of just how dangerous tornadoes are, and how you don't want to get too close to one. We get mass destruction when a Twister touches down at a rodeo and then obliterates a hotel while our heroes seek shelter in an empty pool. The last act is pretty much a Twister frenzy with a group of people huddled at a movie theater while Frankenstein is playing. A very nice touch as the tornado tears the place to pieces. It reminded me a little of that scene from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 where Alice gets sucked into the movie screen. But as cool as the Twisters and the destruction they leave in their wake are, where this movie really shines is with the cast and the characters. This movie features one of the most likable cast of characters I've seen in a while. Daisy Edgar-Jones, who was great in Fresh. If you haven't seen Fresh, see it. And Glen Powell make a wonderful duo and have plenty of chemistry. Jones is a sympathetic heroine, and the mind games and witty repartee she engages in with Powell is quite amusing. I was a little concerned about the character of Tyler, played by Glen Powell. His character here and Bill Paxton's character in the first movie are similar to the point that I was afraid the movie was going to try and say that they were father and son. That doesn't happen though, thankfully. Powell is no Paxton, but really who is? Still, I liked his character a lot. I also liked the don't judge a book by its cover thing the movie does with Tyler and his whole team. The supporting cast are all great too, including Anthony Ramos, and I loved Maura Tierney as Joan's mother. Kiernan Shipka from The Black Coat's Daughter has a small role here too. Granted, the hooping and hollering from Tyler's team got a little old early on. I mean, we get it. You lot really like tornadoes, and you're from the South, and hooping and hollering is our primary form of communication around here. For example, when I was leaving the theater, a guy asked me if I liked the movie, to which I replied, "Hoo-wee! Hoo!" There are some tie-ins to the first movie, but Twisters doesn't rely on the first film's goodwill or nostalgia to entertain. Twisters is good enough to stand on its own, and the action and the characters are strong enough to keep you invested for its brisk 90-minute runtime. Twisters is predictable, it's a little silly at times, but man, I had a great time watching it. It's a good old-fashioned summer movie, and I hope it is a blockbuster. I say check it out. If you've seen Twisters, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite summer blockbuster from the 90s is. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, hooey! Hoo! A huge thank you to all my patrons and channel members for your generosity and support. Become a patron today and get early access to videos, have a say in what content appears on my channel, join me for monthly live streams, exclusive watch parties, and more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream, as well as members-only watch parties. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.